Wrestling is great again. Seth freaking Rollins is back. Yes, you heard it right. The go-home episode of WWE Raw before Bad Blood 2024 also marked the last 3-hour episode of the year. Triple H has successfully adapted the format, and tonight's show highlighted the progress made over the past few years. As usual, the episode delivered a strong lineup, featuring multiple storylines, including the New Day's tale of contrasting fortunes. Additionally, Gunther finally accepted Sami Zayn's challenge, adding more excitement to the night. However, the talk of the night was the return of the Visionary after nearly 2 months. Seth Rollins made a powerful return to WWE on Raw, showing no mercy as he delivered a devastating stomp on the steel steps, sidelining a top star amidst the chaos of a collapsed ring. Rollins had been forced out of action weeks earlier following a brutal, unprovoked attack by Bronson Reed. Reed unleashed multiple tsunamis on Rollins, leaving him with internal bleeding and bruised ribs, all to make a statement. On Raw, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed squared off in a brutal last-man-standing match. Chaos ensued when they crashed into the front row, causing the barricade to collapse and injuring several fans. Back in the ring, the carnage continued as the entire ring gave way, leaving both superstars sprawled out, unable to continue. For a moment, it seemed like Bronson Reed might still pull off the victory despite everything that had happened. As Reed struggled to prop himself up on the steel steps, Seth Rollins stormed in and delivered a vicious stomp, taking him out in brutal fashion. This gave Braun Strowman just enough time to rise to his feet, securing the win in the last monster standing match. With the match over, Rollins stood tall, making a statement without uttering a word. Seth Rollins finally got his revenge, targeting the man who sidelined him for nearly 2 months after a vicious attack on the August 5th episode of Raw. With Bronson Reed now on the receiving end, it's almost certain he'll be seeking payback next Monday on Raw. However, it remains to be seen how GM Adam Pearce will respond and whether any action will be taken against the former World Heavyweight Champion. In the past, Adam Pearce has fined both Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman for their chaotic brawls in the ring and backstage. He's even threatened to suspend Reed for his brutal attacks on Seth Rollins and R-Truth. Given this history, it's likely the Raw GM will issue a fine to Rollins for stomping Bronson Reed and interfering in the match, but no further action is expected. With Rollins now back, his feud with Reed is set to escalate, likely culminating in a showdown at the next premium live event, Crown Jewel, on Saturday, November 2nd. Moving on to some other news, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk will clash one final time inside Hell in a Cell this Saturday, October 5th, at Bad Blood, bringing their heated rivalry to a decisive end and paving the way for new storylines. CM Punk is set to begin a feud with Seth Rollins, and there's speculation that the Visionary could make his presence felt at Bad Blood, possibly distracting Punk and costing him the match against the Scottish Warrior. This interference would ignite the next chapter in the Rollins-Punk rivalry, which is expected to escalate in the coming months, potentially culminating in a major showdown at WrestleMania 41 next April. There's no clear timeline for when CM Punk and Seth Rollins will reignite their feud. However, with Rollins now focused on Bronson Reed, it seems likely that it will be some time before the two finally meet again in the ring. Moving on, Jey Uso shocked the WWE Universe last week on Raw by dethroning Braun Breaker to win the Intercontinental Championship. His first challenger has now been officially announced. Known for holding multiple titles alongside his twin brother Jimmy Uso, this victory marks Jey's first singles championship in his 14-year career. Braun Breaker's reign lasted only 51 days. On this week's Raw, Jey kicked off the show with a celebration and delivered a heartfelt promo in front of the crowd. Braun Breaker then interrupted, but instead of attacking Jey, he offered congratulations, and the two shook hands, signaling a babyface turn for Breaker. Later in the show, Kofi Kingston informed Xavier Woods that he had secured him an Intercontinental Championship match against Jey Uso. The champion had previously stated that he would defend the title weekly, and now his first challenger is set. The match has been confirmed for next week's episode of Raw. That's not the only title match scheduled for next week's episode of Raw. Sami Zayn will also challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, making it a night packed with high-stakes action on the Red brand. Moving on to some exciting news regarding Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has been absent since being attacked by Solo Sikoa's faction earlier this year. However, the WWE Hall of Famer recently sent a message to Roman Reigns, hinting at a potential reunion ahead of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Heyman was ousted from the Bloodline in June 2024 after he refused to recognize Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief. Since then, the 59-year-old has stayed off WWE TV, but he recently acknowledged Reigns as his tribal chief on his Instagram stories. "I have always acknowledged my tribal chief," he wrote. Heyman has supported Roman Reigns since day one, aligning with the 39-year-old before he even became a champion. After Reigns lost his undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 40, he left Heyman behind, but his Wiseman has remained fiercely loyal throughout it all. Paul Heyman has been seen backstage at SmackDown, continuing to work with Roman Reigns since the latter's return to television. However, the WWE Hall of Famer has not yet reunited with the OTC on screen. In his latest Instagram update, Heyman expressed that although Roman didn't come to his aid against the Bloodline, he remains loyal to his tribal chief. This weekend at Bad Blood, Reigns will team up with Cody Rhodes to face Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, and the original tribal chief could certainly benefit from the advice of his Wiseman. While it's unclear if there are plans for the two to reunite on SmackDown, the upcoming show in Nashville already boasts a stacked card, making it a potentially perfect moment for their reunion. There have been rumors suggesting that Paul Heyman might be paired with a new talent now that Reigns is a babyface and appears to be thriving in the ring and on the mic without his legendary manager. However, it's difficult to envision Heyman alongside anyone other than Roman Reigns or the returning Brock Lesnar. The most disappointing news to come out of WWE Raw is the announcement that Ilya Dragunov has suffered a torn ACL. The injury occurred during his live event match against Gunther. While injuries are always unfortunate in wrestling, this one is particularly painful, as it significantly halts Dragunov's momentum. The Mad Dragon will be sidelined for up to 9 months, which is incredibly disappointing. His in-ring talent will be sorely missed on WWE Raw, and several stars may vie for his spot in the upper mid-card during his absence. All we can do now is wish Ilya Dragunov a speedy and successful recovery. What's your take on this week Raw? What do you think of Seth Rollins returning back to WWE? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell icon for more interesting content like this in future. Till then, see you all in the next one. Thanks!